Ladies and gentlemen, namaskar, terve. As you said, thank you very much for your kind words. Also, thank you for the warm hospitality that you have shown us here. I have to say that I salute your diplomatic skills when you say that we stand here as two big democracies. There is one big and one slightly smaller, but I think the key message is that we share values. The key message is that we share values. I would also like to congratulate you for your leadership. My last visit to India was actually in 2013 in my capacity as Minister of Trade, and the change that I just see on the streets of New Delhi and that I will most probably see in Mumbai in a couple of days is palpable. This is an economic miracle that we're witnessing, and I wish you all the best. Thank you also for welcoming me. I arrived yesterday in the middle of Holi, which was lovely to see. I was able to escape some of the color attacks that were coming at me, but it was a great experience as such. With President Martti Ahtisaari, who was very much a man of peace. He won the Nobel Prize of Peace in 2008 and was a great respected leader. India obviously is one of the world's largest and most influential countries and the world's largest democracy. And as we have seen, you are now a key strategic partner for Europe. You are one of the fastest growing economies in the world that we can witness here every day. And I believe personally that we should all become a little bit more Indian. And I believe personally that we should all become a little bit more Indian. Everyone in the world is listening and watching what is happening at Raisina, not least right now when the world is so turbulent. The world is changing. We are living through a transition in the global order, and India, together with its friends in the global south, will determine the direction in which this order will go. And that is one of the key issues. It's been so fruitful to discuss and understand your approach. We agreed that ending the war is in everyone's interests. A lasting peace can only be one that respects the principles of the United Nations. Today, in my speech at Raisina, I will once again call for a change in the multilateral system where the division of labor and power would reflect today's world, and therefore I think a seat in the UN Security Council for India is of utmost importance. When the world is in transition, the United States, Russia, China, and many others, the fact that we can have a values and interest-based partnership between the European Union and India is very important. We got to be such good friends that I feel I can say this. For me, it was an empowering moment because today we stood there together representing almost 1.5 billion people. And I'm sorry the speech is going to go only downhill from here. I think we human beings make three mistakes. The first mistake is that we over-rationalize the past. We think that the world worked in a certain way and juxtapose examples thereof. The second mistake we make is that we over-dramatize the present. And when we do these two mistakes, the problem is that we end up underestimating the future. And I'll try to avoid that today. Assessments that the rules-based world order is dead, that a wrecking ball is destroying all of the international institutions and rules that have been built since World War II, and that the rupture of the old system is inevitable. Sure, we're living through a major challenge in world politics. Sure, the old order is being challenged, questioned, and attacked. But I would argue against a binary, everything is lost kind of a view. I think the reality is actually much more complex. I really liked Mark Carney's speech in Davos, and Mark was here on a visit as well a few weeks back. And I sort of want to build on his speech here today. But instead of only describing what is presently wrong of the global order, or disorder as the case might be, or longing back to the good old days, I think we should set our sights on the future. We should strive to provide concrete normative proposals on how to fix the global order and make it work better for all. So what's wrong with the world order today? In both of these parts, I will reflect on India and what India teaches the world. It's an attempt by someone who's been born and bred into the Western dominated liberal world order to understand how the world is really changing and be open about it. My thesis is very simple. I believe that the global south will decide what the next world order will look like. And India, as a major power, will be a major, or if not the force in deciding whether the world will tilt towards conflictual multipolarity characterized by deals, transactions, and spheres of interest, or whether the world will tilt towards a new cooperative, fair, and representative multilateral world order based on international institutions, rules, and norms. The starting point for a new settlement is different from 1918, 1945, and 1989. The global power balance has shifted. The global south has both demography and economy on its side. I mean, here we are in a country which is portraying growth rates of 7%, probably projecting all the way to 2047, and at the same time, it's the biggest democracy in the world. But my argument is that the era of a Western-dominated world is over. That's the disruption. The era of a Western-dominated world is over. That's the disruption. This is obvious, but it will take some time to sink in across the West. Together, we're building a partnership that can set an example to the rest of the world. A partnership that is built on mutual respect and common interest and serves to strengthen the multilateral system, not to undermine it. We refuse to believe that future will only belong to, say, two great powers, while the rest of us are left to choose our sides. This does not hold true now, and it will not hold true in a decade or two. We should not allow it. A few concrete suggestions on how we can begin shaping the new world order. India and Finland, we might be geographically different, but we understand what it means when power goes unchecked. We have both gone through difficult periods in history and fought for our democracy, equality, and sovereignty. We don't want to see these values forgotten. Finland's foreign policy is based on what Samir Saran noted earlier, values-based realism. We stand by our values that we consider important and central to us: democracy, equality, justice, human rights, and freedom. Just to name a few. At the same time, we are ready to engage in a dialogue and cooperation with countries that do not necessarily share our values. The aim is to find a balance between values and interests in a way that prioritizes principles but recognizes the limits of power and respect the reality of the world's diverse cultures and histories. You cannot solve the world's big problems, such as conflicts, technology, energy, or climate change, just alone. AI is a life-changing technology. It is the first technology that can be seen to have agency on its own. We're creating something new, and we have to make sure that what we create works for all. For that, we need common basic rules and guardrails. But we also need to acknowledge that the different realities around the world, different systems, create very different threats and opportunities. So new technologies should not deepen the digital divide between the developed and the developing world. They should bridge it. And in my mind, India is both a driver and a bridge of AI and technology. This is a field where you showed leadership recently in the AI Impact Summit. I could not agree more with you, Mr. Prime Minister, when you said in your address at the summit that AI will only benefit the world when it is shared. We need to rebalance the world order. We need to agree on the principles on which we can find common solutions to common problems. And if I may, my procedural proposal is that we should have a new Delhi moment. In other words, that India gathers world leaders here in Delhi and begins the process of looking what happens after wars. So in conclusion, it is in our interest to make the international system more inclusive and fairer while maintaining its core values and principles. The division of power is a political reality. Some have more, others less. How one uses power is a political choice. We can choose multipolar, opportunistic competition, or we can choose mutually beneficial multilateral cooperation. Now, us Finns, we are known for 8 years running as the happiest people in the world. Although I have to say that one would not necessarily draw that conclusion from a Monday morning tram ride in Helsinki in November, but statistics tells us that we're happy. Now, Indians, on the contrary, are smiling people. And you're constantly topping one very important statistic, the one that measures optimism. Most Indians believe that tomorrow will be better than today. So let's combine Finnish happiness and Indian optimism in constructing a fairer and a more stable new world order. Together, we're stronger. Thank you very much. So let's combine Finnish happiness and Indian optimism in constructing a fairer and a more stable new world order. Together, we're stronger. Thank you very much.
I'm Winston from Kildare.